A pleasant afternoon, everyone. I am the second reporter of the Code of Ethics for Teachers, His or Her Person, Profession, and Business. Sheena Nicole C. Capul. I will focus more on discussing the topic entitled Article 6, The Teacher as a Person. In this article, it consists of four sections that discusses different aspects of teacher as a person. This report will talk about a teacher's behavior, responsibility, and character as a human being. Let's go first on section 1. A teacher is, above all, a human being endowed or given with life for which it is the highest obligation to live with dignity at all times, whether in school, in home, or elsewhere. Why do teachers need to have a dignity of life? They need to live with dignity as their profession requires someone to be respected, whose actions are followed by their students. So their actions can be observed and can be adopted by the students. So they need to be more careful of what they show, not just to students, but to everyone in the community. There are activities that should be avoided by these teachers. Gambling, smoking, drunkenness, and other excess, much less illicit relations. So you mean by illicit relations is like activities that can doesn't abide the law, like pagpatay, like that. How can you live with dignity? Start making small changes by listening well, not just to the students, but to all people you interact with. We must remember that teachers must be a role model inside or outside of school facility. Having patience and engaging enough to students would greatly help teachers to live with dignity. Now let's move on to section 2. A teacher shall place premium upon self-discipline as the primary principle of personal behavior in all relationships with others and in all situations. Self-discipline means being responsible enough to assess our own misbehavior. As Theodore Roosevelt said, quote unquote, with self-discipline, almost anything is possible. Having self-discipline would lead you to a successful life, including your career choice. Just like a teacher, they need to have a self-discipline to improve their interactions and relationship with everyone, not just students, but everyone in the community, family, peers, and friends. How to have self-discipline as a teacher? So, papaano nga ba magkakaroon ng self-discipline ang isang guro? First is to start small goals to bigger goals. This would help teachers to be more committed to their work and more progressive as time goes by. Their progress would be much long-lasting in their career. Like mutatak sa kanilang isipan. No? Next, establish and create your routine. Practicing our minds by following same routine would easily help teachers to focus and engage themselves in finishing specific tasks. The more we are interested to something, it would be more likely to have a better outcome or result. Next, practice and prepare. Educators need to research and study their lessons prior to every report or discussion. Having a time management would be a great help to balance your workloads. It's very necessary to practice and master time management. And lastly, know your strength and limitation. Knowing our strength would help us improve our career and our practices as a teachers, and knowing our limitations or weaknesses would help us to grow more as a person and as educator or improve. Next, what benefit does self-discipline give to a teacher? Teachers won't be a burden on coworkers, organizations, or students. By having discipline, di daw sila maburden, di sila pabigat sa kanilang trabaho. For instance, if teachers submit the reports later than expected or beyond deadline, the departments or the advisors' work, such as calculating the student's average, magperma, and disseminating grades, will be delayed. In other words, one action has an impact in all work. Next is make teachers self-discipline make teacher more confident to their work in managing their learning activities and classroom. They would excel more in their field. Next, Section 3. A teacher shall maintain at all times a dignified personality which could serve as a model worthy of emulation by learners, peers, and others. Students look up to their teachers as heroes, idols, and role models. Personally, this was my perspective as a student, which led me to a taken education course. Students like me learn from the behavior they see rather than what is being said. To be effective, educators should model the manners that they teach to their students. For example, if the teachers would say to the students that pagbasa ka mo ng ini, no, limitang here. To be more effective, para ma-pursue ang mga student to read, teachers should be the one i-model na magbasa. Start with having respect to everyone, regardless to their status, age, gender, capacities, and many more. Respect is not earned by everyone. Indeed, every human deserves respect. However, in some cases, people who have poorly treated nor possess terrible attitude causes damage to someone that can be physically or mentally or both. Don't deserve people to reciprocate respect. Indeed, what you give is what you get. How do teachers maintain dignified personality? First, treat each other with dignity and respect. If you want to be respected, treat others with respect. Next, listen to each other's point of view, recognizing that may be many disagreements. So as educator, we ourselves need to be open for the changes or the open of possibilities in a conversation or in this discussion. Like for example, we are open to the ideas of our students and ideas and to the possibilities na teach not always di sa tanang panahon ang teacher is correct. Like there are times that students are correct and teachers are not correct. We need to be open with that. Next, keep discussion and comments on the topic and of the people. Next, be fair. And lastly, do not use inflammatory or offensive language, sarcasm, or raised voice. And now let's go to the last section, which is section 4. A teacher shall always recognize the Almighty God as guide of his own destiny and of the destinies of men and nations. It means that a teacher should be a God-fearing and has a moral values in order to redirect students to a brighter future as our nation's hope. In this section, it's more on realization that teachers are used as an instrument by Almighty God to spread goodness and knowledge to all men and to the nation. I guess that's it. Get any questions? Feel free to ask or clarify me. And that's it for my report. Thank you all for listening.